Welcome to Vysh IAS. So we'll be continuing with the PLUMS series of polity, governance and schemes today. Okay, so if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing this channel so that you will be getting daily free updates on UPSC. And if you are looking for a good quality test series, then you can contact the number which is given on the screen 7200681675. So let's move on to the first question for today. So the first question reads, how many statements are correct? The first statement reads, National Investigation Agency is a central counter-terrorism agency under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Second reads, the organization deals with terror-related crimes across state without the special permission from the states. And third reads, it's a statutory body. So this is a question taken from that constitutional bodies and unconstitutional bodies. Okay, from that portion, it's highly likely that you get a question in the statement form. Okay, whether it's a statutory body, whether it's a constitutional body, whether it's a non-constitutional body, like that you will get a statement. So here, this is the most easiest statement which you can process if you get such a question, because there are numerous number of bodies, and if you know whether it's a statutory or constitutional body, then it's going to be an easier thing. Okay, so here NIA, it is a statutory body, so this statement is correct. Okay, then the other two statements are also correct here. It's a central counter-terrorism agency and it is working under Ministry of Home Affairs. Then without the permission, this may get this is a area which you may get confused, but actually this is a correct statement. For NIA to function, there is no need of any special permission from the states. Okay, so please take note of this point. So here all the statements are correct. All three are correct statements. Okay, now come to the next question. How many statements are correct? First is, doctrine of eminent domain means that the supreme power of the king or the government under which the property of any individual can be taken over in the concern of the general public. Okay, so here this one is a homework for you. There are numerous doctrines in polity. Okay, so it's important for you to understand these doctrines. Maybe in coming years they may put a question relating to doctrine. There are some common doctrines which you know, like pith and substance, then delegated legislation, etc. Okay, other than this there are some other doctrines also, so it is important for you in the coming prelims, and you can use it in mains also in polity. Okay, so here this is correct, and what you can do is, this is homework today, doctrine of eminent domain, please go and check once. Okay, then second is, doctrine of adverse possession means the state cannot trespass into private property of a citizen and then claim ownership of the land in the name of adverse possession. Yes, this is a logical statement and has to be correct. Okay, so second, there is nothing fishy, it's a general statement, and from the word meaning itself we can derive the statement. It has to be a correct statement. Then third, in India, a person who is not original owner of a property becomes the owner because he has been in the possession of a property for minimum of 12 years within which the real owner did not seek legal recourse to oust him. Okay, so here this kind of statements are recently asked in UPSC Prelims. So here, for answering these kinds of statements or for decoding these kinds of statements, you need to have a fair level of practical knowledge which is going to come from newspapers. So it's important for you to grasp through the newspapers and take note of these points. Okay, these points we can't teach in polity, or you may not find in standard books, but it somehow is related to your normal life, your day-to-day life. Okay, so here it's a fairly common statement, it's a commonsensical knowledge, and you should know this as an aspirant. Okay, so here this is not a standard statement or something like that, but it is a common statement which everybody is expected to know, to live. Okay, so like what you can say, it's a legal awareness kind of thing. Okay, so here even this statement is correct. So here all the three statements are correct. Okay, now come to the next question. Right to property is a legal right available to any person. Mentioned in Article 300 provides that no person shall be deprived of his property save by the authority of law. Originally not a fundamental right in the original constitution, deleted from Fundamental Rights through 42nd Amendment Act. Okay, so here it's an easy question, but sometimes you may get confused. Okay, here it's a legal right available to any person. Immediately on seeing any, you should not be marking it as wrong. Okay, because that UPSC also is getting the trick. UPSC is also getting the instincts that you are aware of those tricks. Okay, so here this is correct statement. Actually, this is a standard statement also. Right to property is a legal right available to any person. Okay, this is a correct statement. Then it's mentioned in Article 300. No, it's mentioned in Article 300A. These kind of statements you may get confused, and it's highly probable that you will mark it wrong. Okay, so please take note of these statements also. Not Article 300, 300A. Then third is originally not a fundamental right in the original constitution. No, it was originally a fundamental right, and it was later deleted from the fundamental rights through 44th Amendment Act. Okay, so here if you know that simple fact, C and D are going to be incorrect. It was a fundamental right earlier and it was deleted. It was deleted from fundamental right through 44th Amendment Act. But in the fourth statement, it is given that it was deleted from fundamental rights through 42nd Amendment Act. Okay, even though 42nd is very important, this particular thing, the right to property, was deleted through 44th only. Okay, so please take note of that point also. So here the correct answer is A only. Okay, A. Then come to the next question. Which of the following statements are correct? First Backward Class Commission report of 1955 had proposed subcategorization of OBCs into backward and extremely backward communities. Yes, this is a correct statement. It's a fact statement. Okay, factual statement. So it's correct. Then Mandal Commission report of 1979, L.R. Naik proposed subcategorization in the intermediate and depressed backward classes. Is even this is also a correct statement. So both the statements are correct and the answer comes out to be both 1 and 2. Now come to the next statement. Next question. Settlement of a boundary dispute between India and another country. A. It does not require a constitutional amendment under Article 368, can be done by executive action. B. It involves cession of Indian territory to a foreign territory. C reads require a constitutional amendment under Article 368 but can be done only through executive action. D does not require a constitutional amendment under Article 368 but cannot be done by executive action. Okay, these statement, the framing of the statement, okay, look at the language of the framing of the statements, it's more tricky. Okay, so in these types of questions, it's very important for you to have the concept clarity. Okay, here the correct answer is A. It does not require a constitutional amendment. Okay, settlement of a boundary dispute, it is not requiring any type of constitutional amendment which is covered under Article 368, and since it is not requiring any constitutional amendment, it can be done by an executive action. And B reads it involves cession of Indian territory. If it involves cession, it's an important thing. No, so without a constitutional amendment, it is not possible. Logically, it's not possible. You can think like that. Okay, cession is something important, so it cannot happen. So this statement is going to be wrong. C, it require a constitutional amendment under Article 368. In this part of the first, in this part of the statement itself, the whole option gets wrong. C is wrong. Then D, it does not require a constitutional amendment under Article 368 but cannot be done by executive action. Here the second part is wrong. It can be done. Okay, it cannot be. It's given it cannot be, but it can be done by an executive action. So the correct answer comes out to be A. That's the end of today's session. So we'll meet in the next week in the next episode. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.